This is Karikter Asked It. You already know Karikter did it. I'm here with Palmeeze, bro. Tell us about yourself. What do you do?
Hey man, I make making music out of Tampa, New York, or Tampa, Florida. I don't know what that was. Out of the way, New York. So born and raised in Rochester, New York. Spent most of my life there. Came down to Tampa, Florida. Um, Been here, as I was telling you, about 5 years or so. And yeah, music's always kind of been my drive, my passion. So just enjoying the process, man.
How old are you?
I am 36
All right. So,
now.
what brought you to Florida 5 years ago?
Ooh, okay, good question. So we were living in upstate New York, things were good, and then my wife came to me one day and was kind of like, I don't want to do corporate anymore. I kind of want to start doing our own thing. And through that, we started a business. And then I kind of felt like, hey, we came down to Orlando for her 30th birthday party, and it just felt better than, I guess, the New York. You know, the whole winter, the wet socks, all that jazz. And I was just, this feels better for us. And it just felt a little more inspiring, to be honest with you, being around people that were just trying to it felt like they were trying to get after it. In New York, I was stuck for probably 3 to 6 months out of the year, feeling the winter blues, kind of feeling like unmotivated. You can't really do anything. So a lot of that kind of just opened up for us. So we came down to Tampa, and we've been running a business successfully for the last 5 years. Really excited about that. And yeah, music's just kind of been there as my hobby, my passion, kind of like my lifeblood. So
Congrats, bro. That's amazing. And I want to
thanks.
get to all of that, but how did you get to this point? Tell me about your upbringing in New York.
Born three sons, oldest of three brothers. Yeah, pretty low key. My parents were kind of blue collar. My dad grew up as a truck driver, eventually a mechanic. My mom was doing some odd jobs, kind of like data entry stuff, then went to nursing. So it was just a working family, and I just had that rebellious spirit, that chip on my shoulder, I just gotta kind of let people know. And music, just the first time I heard, I think I've talked to you in the past, but the first time I heard album 2001, I was kind of like, whoa. I had my dad growing up with like heavy metal, my mom a very big pop, rock style, and then I heard hip hop for the first time, and I was like, this is something. So I just kind of leaned into that. I just kind of emulated it, and it was just something that I really resonated with from the jump. From there, I kind of did my own thing until making my way down to Florida.
What'd you do after high school?
Bunch of jobs. Sales and tech support were kind of my two verticals. It just seemed like I was just good with those two realms. So I jumped around. I did Verizon wireless customer service for a little while. Ended up working my way up to project management for like networking and routers, switches, VoIP phones, and things like that. And that's about the time that my wife was kind of like, "Hey, we should try to push for something that we're a little more passionate about." And her passion's always been makeup, or her passion's always been makeup. So she developed the product, and I love business, so we kind of tag teamed that whole thing, and she continued to develop and build on that side of it, and I was just kind of here to be that supporting role. Yeah, I would say it's kind of.
Do you want to tell me about the product?
Makeup. So I know far too much about makeup now than I would have previously. We started a cosmetic company, predominantly entirely online. So it was something that started with just a dream of passion, sitting at a table, formulating from raw ingredients to get the right feeling or the vibe that she was looking for, the makeup that meant something to her, that felt good for her. We kind of just trial and error, learn and grow. From a business side, I got a lot more involved, trying to figure out kind of how to grow the business, how to make the day-to-day work, the operations work. But yeah, it's been a fun, challenging experience for sure. A lot of people speak to being your own boss and wanting your own schedule, but a level of discipline comes with that. and it's probably the most difficult and stressful, as you could probably attest to, processes in your life, but it's also potentially the most rewarding. So love what we do, super grateful for it, but it's not easy.
Facts, man. I'm one of the strictest assholes I've ever worked for in my whole life. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, I heard that.
What have been your biggest accomplishments?
Oh man, the business was huge. We went from unknown, no experience, no background, to 100,000 followers on Instagram, doing 7 figures in sales a year, owning or renting our own warehouse and upgrading throughout that. Taking my brother-in-law along with us as well, hiring employees, and growing the business on that side. So being a part of that from the ground up and having a hand in that's been a huge motivating factor for me. But it did get to a point where music's always kind of been my thing. And if it got about 4 or 5 years back, I was like, I can't really do music, because I had this idea that you had to be, Eminem or Kanye West or Jay-Z, or else it was nothing. So a lot of stress, a lot of pressure for myself, for sure. So I was kind of like, I'm not going to make music anymore. And then 4 or 5 years went by, and I was kind of like, I kind of need it. Like it's calling to me. I feel like it's clawing at me, and it's just kind of like my purpose. I'm questioning my purpose, even though the music is just that outlet for me. And I'm super like excited about the work stuff, about the business, but I just need that little outlet for me. And that brought me back into music about 1.5 years ago.
That's funny, because I can totally relate to that, bro. I'm 35, you're 36. We're very much in similar situations. And I started making music about 1 year and 4 months ago. And I made like 150 songs in a year.
Oh, wow.
And
Damn.
I stopped as soon as I started doing the interviews, because really I don't have time to work on music or whatever. And I'm okay with it right now. I use music for everything I needed for it. Healed me in a lot of emotional ways.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to hear your perspective, because I feel like this might be my time, that I take 1 year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 off, but I will get back to it. I know how much I love making music. It's a magic thing. And I never had any intention of music to blow up or make any money off of it or anything. But it's been the most effective therapeutic tool that I've found.
Yeah. Me too. And I'm also super, I'm a very private person. I wouldn't say shy, because once you get to know me, you can't get me to stop talking. But I'm very private. So a lot of that is, I grew up just feeling a lot like letting out your emotions would be weaponized against you, for sure. So I'm just starting to kind of bridge that gap, where not only is music that outlet, but to kind of allow some of myself into my music, if that makes sense. And that's kind of that journey that I'm on right now. I can make the fun songs, I can put words together, but it's still that shell of me that's protecting myself. So yeah, it's a lot. It's helping me discover a little more about who I am as a person, I think, as I go down that road. And I just love it. It's a great journey.
Absolutely, bro. What have been your biggest obstacles you've had to overcome?
Me, man. Me. All 3 of them. I don't know. It's tough. I listen to stuff I make in the studio. It's my home studio, so no one else is here with me, and I love it. And then the second I think about releasing that, I have to put those different headphones on, or those different glasses on, to say, this is going to be consumed by the world potentially. So how would that be perceived? And that has stopped me in my tracks more times than not. And I recently dropped the track, Whoa, back in beginning of this month, a couple weeks ago. And the real story behind that is I actually let somebody hear it on a public platform about 2 months before I released it. And they were like, this song isn't it. It's outdated. It should have been dropped 6 years ago. And they were kind of like, you're not really like getting into anything in particular. And that hit me so deep that I was kind of like, I went into hiding to a degree. This song was going to get scrapped. It wasn't going to go anywhere. And that's something I think I've been trying to figure out how to handle as a person as well. I have thick skin and out in the public world, but when it comes to the art, it's I'm very protective of it to a degree. It took a big mind shift recently for me to start kind of being like, I had to get hit a few times, get knocked down a few times, and now I'm kind of like, I don't really care what you think. The hours that I spend in this, the time that I'm writing, again, it just comes down to the growth as a person, being more confident in that product, if you will. So that's been a struggle, but it's also been something that's really been exciting for me. As I continue to overcome that and grow through that, I feel a deeper level of accomplishment that rolls out into the rest of my life.
I was just about to say that. Things like that are the reason why I love making music, because it made put myself out there in front of a bigger crowd of strangers I'd ever known before. I put it on review sites and it would get torn up, and there would be moments where I'd be like, damn. But I accepted I was terrible. I'm 35. I started when I was 34. I had a lot to learn, but I realized it was all part of the journey, and it's it's, you're never gonna do anything that everybody says is great.
No, and I've realized that too. It's you also don't want that. No. I think just recently I'm coming to the point where I kind of got to the mindset where if you put a song out and everyone loves it, I mean, it's cool and all, but where's that growth as a person? Do you know what I mean? So I'm kind of like, I kind of feel in that pull where I kind of need to fail again, and the only way to fail is to experiment, try different things, and to get people to tear you down, because there's going to be something in there, a seed somewhere in there that's like, that's the next thing for me. That's what I should be pushing. And that, again, going back even a year ago, not something I carried my character when it came to music. So that was really enlightening for me over the past few weeks, I would say.
Facts, man. And hey, Rick Rubin has this quote. He says something about if you make a song and everybody loves it, it's probably mediocre. But if you make a song that it's some people's favorites, but some people hate it, then you probably got something there.
Yeah, that's it.
So next time you get hate on a song, bro, remember,
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And actually, Rick Rubin, his book came out, and he's actually, from that book, he's been a huge inspiration for me. His whole philosophy, his whole belief to his whole approach to music has really been a big shift for me. You got to practice it, and that's kind of the harder part, the longer journey. But I've been really, really trying to push that. A lot of his philosophies. He's been very inspirational for me.
Nah, facts, man. Rick Rubin is he's just a great mind. He's just a great mind.
Yes. Yep, absolutely.
What does success in life and in music, if there's a success in music in your head, what do they look like?
Previously, Oscars, Grammys. Again, the whole picture is everything and the trophies behind everything that I do. The money, the cars, the clothes, all that. Lately, I think it's really just financial freedom through music, so that I can take those stressors off the table and feel free to explore music where it takes me. To not have to have that thought in the back of your mind about having to go to do some other things or to have a schedule elsewhere, just to kind of like your day job is sitting down and exploring music. That I think is the big definition of success for me now. But again, it's also enjoying that journey through the process, which is huge. And that's something else. I grew up very stressed out about it, and it was kind of like it was a job. It was a job that I didn't want to be at. I lost the enjoyment of that job. And that tends to turn me away from music to where I just don't even want to do it. So success for me now, I've come to realize everyone's definition is different. So I'm really on my own path. And I think just feeling that comfortability with myself, that I'm doing what I can, I'm pushing myself, I'm growing, I have progress as a person, that's huge for me.
Absolutely, bro. And the fact that you and your wife have started this business and it's running and it's maintaining, and you're able to do that and focus on music and express yourself in that way and see where it takes you. It's an amazing accomplishment for real.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm super happy, super grateful. It's been a long road, but I wouldn't trade it for anything, for sure.
If you could go back and tell your younger self anything, what would it be?
Don't take that break from me. I think, and I say that because music is such a big part of my life. And I think I would have tried to have stopped emulating what I thought hip hop should be. Coming up, you hear a lot of similar thought processes, similar styles, things like that. I think finding my own unique style early on and just kind of leaning into like what my life was like rather than what I think it should be like, I think would have probably helped me. That and just the discipline of just keep going, because it's 1 in a million to make it to even something to where you can, you're on the Billboard charts or whatever the case, but it's a 0% chance the second that you hang it up. And if that is any value or benefit or excitement to you, then yeah, just keep going forward. Discipline's created that helps you break all this, issues that you experience. The procrastination is broken by discipline, showing up every day and just doing what you have to do, what you said you were going to do. That would have been, I think, a big driver for me.
I hear that, bro. I hear that, man. Do you have anything coming up you want to talk about?
Yeah, man, I got a 3-track project coming out September 14th. It's called Momentum. I worked with a few producers, designer of some Instagram groups that I'm a part of. So it's kind of a community thing that we got to kind of put together, at least for the artwork and at least one of the tracks. I'm really, really excited about them. Thinking back to the first song I created about 1.5 years ago to the first track on this next project, I feel I've come a significant amount of time. And as I told you, I feel like I'm kind of dipping more into giving some insight into who I am and where I came from. So yeah, I'm really excited about this project. Finalized it today, got it all uploaded today. So yeah, I'm really, really fired up about it.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, bro. Is there any kind of like sentiment or life lesson that you would like to share with anybody watching before we end this?
Man, just if something's calling to you, just keep going. Just follow that. If it feels like something's pulling at you, just keep going. I've been reading a lot. I do enjoy reading a lot of books, and a couple things that stood out to me recently is a lot of people will focus on things. They're really good at something, and they'll spend their time focusing on a lot of the other things to try to get better at those. But sometimes that thing that you're really good at, to get to that next level, you have to put all of your time and attention into that. And you can be okay or good at a lot of things, or you can be great at one thing and figure out the rest. We can hire people, we can bring other people in for the other stuff. And for musicians, Jason Derulo's book, I recently finished that one. He says, when you sit down to write, just write what's in your heart. And that's actually kind of helped me cross that bridge between, just writing and actually getting a little more into what I'm about. So that's been really good for me too.
Hell yeah, man. Unless there's anything else that you want to share, anything else that you want to talk about, that's all I have for you right now.
Oh man, that's it for me. I'm good.
All right, man. Hey, much love. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate your time. This has been Karikter Asked It with Palmeeze. Follow him up, hit him up. I'll see y'all next time. Peace up.